Here are four wide receivers that the experts are obsessed with, and so is RotoWire. Start out with Drake London, Atlanta Falcons. Drake London's ADP is up to about wide receiver 9, so you're going to have to go get him early in that second round, maybe even late in the first. But Drake London had that breakout year last year, 100 catches, 1,271 yards, and 9 touchdowns. Now, those aren't exactly high-end wide receiver 1 numbers, although they are very good, but there is reason to expect a even bigger performance this year. In the stretch run of 2024, last 6 games, Drake London averaged 94 yards and 11.3 targets. But let's narrow that down further to the Michael Penix 3 games. It was even better. And I know there was one crazy game in there, but those 11.3 targets in the last 6 games went up to 13 targets a game. Those 94 yards went up to 117, and Penix and London connected 7 times per game. So this is a great connection. I believe it's only going to build. Drake London, don't be surprised if he ends the year as the wide receiver 4. He's a discount. Rashee Rice of the Kansas City Chiefs is next. Remember, in 3 games last year, before the LCL knee injury that put out Rice for the year, he was averaging 8 catches for 96 yards. After the catch, he was a beast. Rashee Rice was catching short passes, being led into the traffic area, 96th percentile yards after the catch. Now, it appears right now, after a full participation expected in training camp, Rashee Rice should be completely clear of the injury. There's a little bit of concern about a possible suspension from his situation of last year, but as of right now, it seems like the legal case hasn't been heard. The NFL is very unlikely to take action until that's settled. Keep an eye on that. But for right now, Rashee Rice's ADP has gone up from wide receiver 22 about a month and a half ago up to wide receiver 13, but he is still worth that cost. If you're enjoying this breakdown, take a second to hit the like and subscribe. It helps us keep the fantasy advice coming. And if you want even more of RotoWire's tools, rankings, and insights, we got a 15% discount just for our YouTube viewers. You head to rotowire.com, choose your subscription, and use the code YouTube15 at checkout. All right, another receiver that the experts are obsessed with, Jaxon Smith-Njigba. His ADP has creeped down a little bit. He was wide receiver 12 earlier in the offseason, down to wide receiver 14. But my question is why? Because we're missing something here. Because Cooper Kupp, please, injured, declined, phased out of the Rams offense last year. There really is no legitimate number 3 receiver on this team. Jaxon Smith-Njigba broke out last year, 100 catches, 1,130 yards, but he was competing for targets at DK Metcalf and a declining Tyler Lockett. But Jaxon Smith-Njigba could be in line for 160 targets this year. That would not be a shock at all. He is the one factor in the passing game that Sam Darnold's going to be able to count on. And even if Cooper Kupp plays a slot, Jaxon Smith-Njigba will get there sometimes, and he'll still have to win a lot from the outside. Look for him over the middle a ton. DJ Moore is the one player that experts are on, but the fantasy community seems not to be. DJ Moore is being drafted right around wide receiver 20. Now understand this. With Justin Fields in 2023, DJ Moore was the wide receiver 6, putting up over 1,360 yards and 8 touchdowns. Last year in Chicago was a disaster. Still, DJ Moore was the wide receiver 14, 98 catches, 966 yards, 6 touchdowns, 140 targets. Now, that 966-yard season, that was the first time DJ Moore didn't have 1,100 yards in about 5 years. He is like a lock for that number or more. Caleb Williams now has a coach that can actually work with him, an offensive line that's upgraded. DJ Moore is one of a number of weapons, so defenses will really struggle to sell out him. Don't forget, DJ Moore is a legitimate superstar. He has just never been in a good situation. This is a player you want on your fantasy team. Even if you have to jump up in your draft a little bit to take him, it's a very big point. But yeah, these receivers, again, we're looking at Drake London, like I said, wide receiver 4 potential. Rashee Rice, you could see him at wide receiver 13 finishing in the top 7 or 8. He's that good, that accomplished. Jaxon Smith-Njigba, like I said, you could get 160 targets here, which would be massive. And DJ Moore, I still think, is one of the steals of the draft. It would be stunning if he didn't finish inside the top 14. And again, you're getting him at wide receiver 20 prices. These are the receivers that experts can't get enough of.